What's up, gaybos? JustaMinx is an Irish live streamer who's honestly, she's been on like my periphery of people I wanted to investigate for a while now, people that I found kind of interesting. Admittedly, I don't really watch live streaming at all. There's a little bit that I watch here and there, but definitely not her genre of live streaming, that poggers community style live streamer. You know who I mean, the J Slats, the cutie Cinderellas, the XQCs, the Moist Criticals, the Hassan Pikers, but she has done a good job of transcending that peer group, as it were. And over the past couple of years, she's been making a name for herself as an alcoholic hot mess, being blackout drunk on stream, ending friendships. We've all been there before. I've been there before. Often. But Minks really popped up on my radar recently when she got into a bit of a Twitter and X.com back and forth with content creator, boxing trainer, Scott Sullivan, who you may have seen on Fishtank a few times during season 1 training Jason Goldstriker. During their dispute, Sylvia chimed in to the defense of Scott, calling Minks a quote, botched lobotomy patient, which is now in Minx's bio, which is hilarious. Since then, the two have actually been quite friendly on Twitter, and when Minks posted a picture of a dog asking if she should take it in, Steinful, who has done editing work for Tom Dark, invited Minks to season 2 of Fishtank, to which Minks replied, yeah. To which Jet replied, DM me, I'll arrange it. So now with Minks possibly being a freeloader in season 2 of Fishtank, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to finally do a deep dive and to figure out who Minks really is. As a teen, Minks would create a YouTube channel making Club Penguin horror videos and would get her first taste of virality when she made a sad dog video that got over 800,000 views.
I did go viral, like I don't want to flex too much, but I made a sad dog video where I wrote a sad story about a dog. It got 800,000 views. 800,000 views. That's a lot for a 12-year-old.
She'd create her Twitch account back in 2016 in the just chatting genre and playing games like Dead by Daylight. Minks would befriend many Twitch creators, finding her way into the Poggers community, a loose unofficial clan of friends and frequent collaborators, in a rising tides lift all ships type of symbiosis. Through these connections, Mink would find her way onto Lover Host, an internet dating game show hosted by Austin Show. She'd go on to win one of the episodes.
The winner of Lover Host, featuring George, is JustaMinx. Congratulations!
And her infectious personality would help win over a new fan base and propel her channel to the nearly 2 million followers she has today. Mink's style of content is rambunctious, unapologetic.
I DM'd them.
Yeah.
Hey James, just heated up some frozen pizza. Thinking of you.
Yeah.
Mom is dressed up
And
in
did
an
he
old
respond?
wedding dress, menacingly looking at Dad.
No.
No, that's
Tries to
crazy.
escape.
And in your face.
Can I stab my White Claw?
Honestly, as someone that's never seen a single clip of Minks up until a couple days ago, I could instantly tell why she, oh my God. Sorry, I have Acura playing in the background as the scene where the guy's getting shot and his guts are falling out. God damn. It's just playing on a monitor beside me. Probably not the best thing. It's a little distracting. What was I saying about Minks? Yes. I instantly understand why she's able to encapsulate an audience. Like she is a very entertaining individual. She plays the role of clumsy fall guy who is willing to stretch the boundaries just to see if they break. She's the unpredictable wild card, a rare archetype indeed. If you've ever been in the presence of a wild card type individual, they're some of like the funnest people to hang out with. They get themselves into wacky situations, always causing spontaneous hijinks. But there's a flip side to that coin. They could also be a lot, especially as you begin to age. It's not as fun and cute when you have someone who keeps getting themselves and everyone around them into sticky situations. And part of the other side of that coin would be Minx's fall down the trap of alcoholism, partying late night, getting drunk on stream, but in her early days, this wouldn't be as much of an issue. Alongside her drinking habit, she also has a history of epileptic seizures. Keep that in mind because it will come up later. Minks also has borderline personality disorder.
I came to Twitter to see that people were saying I was faking my BPD that I had actually opened up about that night on the Catmaid stream. It is not okay to hurt people during an episode, and that is true. I always stand by that because that puts a bad name on BPD. The only reason I deleted the tweets was because I don't remember tweeting them. It was a blackout episode. I remember being at my PC 1 minute and being on the stairs crying to Nikki the next.
This would lead her into bouts of manic episodes, which, when mixed with alcohol, is guaranteed to be a bad time. I've been watching old South Park recently.
Okay, you see what he did? He French fried when he should have pizzaed. You French fry when you pizza, you're gonna have a bad time.
More interesting than her mental health, though, I think, is the fact that one day she had a seizure in a car. Her mom and dad were driving at the time. I'm not exactly sure of her age, but she was younger.
It was bad because you were having and what do you call it? An epileptic episode? Is that what it would be?
Yeah,
Seizure.
yeah, a fit or a seizure, whichever one.
And then it then got worse because then you were in a snowy car crash.
Like, bless up, Dad. He turned the corner and I fell out of the, I was, flopping
Bless
around
up,
the back.
Dad. He Tokyo drifting around the corner.
No. You know the back seats? I was falling, so I fell down between the seats, like at the bottom. So he was freaking out, tried to reach back up to like try prop me up because, homie's like foaming at the mouth and whatever. So as he was turning the corner, he like didn't turn properly and the car flipped.
Her dad basically was trying to just speed and get her to the hospital. It was December, snow on the ground. Car ended up hitting like a guardrail and flipping twice, and JustaMinx died temporarily.
So
it was only like
did
a minute
you
away.
die from the seizure or did you die from the crash? Or
I think it was like
mix?
a double negative kind of situation.
That's the fun thing. We'll never know. They never even knew what my epilepsy was. They
both
said
helped.
They said it's...
She would inevitably be resuscitated, obviously.
Another question about that, Minx. Why did they bring you back to life?
Oh, Jesus.
What?
But she was left paralyzed from the neck down, also temporarily.
And then waking up in the hospital and not feeling... I thought I was paralyzed, low-key. I couldn't move. Like, the below my neck would not move for, I think, 2 hours.
I think major impact and traumas like this, they really like rattle your brain around. And I think when you have like brain injuries like that, they have the potential to really change a person and their temperament. For example, Roseanne Barr, who famously was in a car accident when she was younger, and then on the other side of that, after she started recovering, like it completely changed her brain waves.
Well, I had got hit by a car, and the hood ornament went in my head, in my brains, and scrambled them.
How much did your personality change?
Oh, it changed drastically.
To the point where she was more likely to take more risks, and she would often just fly off the handle and had trouble regulating her mood.
Yeah, you change right away.
Did you find that you became much more impulsive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that helped mold Roseanne into the hilarious comic she ended up becoming and that we all love and know.
I thought the bitch was white! God damn!
Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going based off suspicion with things I know that have happened in the past with other people. But I think that there's a very real possibility that this traumatic car crash actually probably did rattle her brain around in her skull quite a bit, and probably does play a big reason into why she's such a wild card archetype, such as Roseanne Barr today. And it probably also eggs on her alcohol abuse. And I think what encapsulates this side of her the best, honestly, is her role on the G4 game show Name Your Price.
The label says absolutely pure and uncooked.
It looks like my yeast infection.
Oh my, I've got a personal massager.
Hair dryer.
I'm the personal massager.
Whoa, oh. All right.
$1.
Ow! 10 points on the board. Oh my God. Are you, Minx, are you, Oh my God.
Airing in 2020 and hosted once again by Austin Show and co-hosted by Will Neff, Name Your Price would be a Price is Right knockoff, but instead of normies for contestants, it was streamers and comedians playing the game. Minks would play the role of hot girl presenting items, but the twist is that she's kind of a mess who was constantly being ridiculed by the host and the contestants, generally being the butt of the joke.
How long will it take Minks to find her retainer in the trash can? I've got a question for you.
Great segment.
This section of the game show is you just making Minks dig through a trash can.
That's correct. Remember, this is your moment.
Yep.
I know. And I can use hands too, not just mouth.
You can do what? No.
Oh, God.
But that wasn't.
You're supposed to use your hands.
Yes.
What?
Go!
There she goes.
Oh, there she goes. Oh! Oh my God.
A role I can honestly say I feel like Minks was like born to play. She is so perfect here, and this is what really sold me on her as like a freeloader for season 2 of Fishtank.
Simon, you need to apologize to all the racist cracker white boy gamers watching.
You cracker ass cracker. Cracker ass cracker. Cracker ass cracker.
Simon, my parents died when I was 15. It was really hard on me. You are a homo.
I'm happy your parents died. I'm happy your parents died, so now I have to embrace a cracker ass cracker like you.
Her ability to roll with the punches and perpetually seemingly naturally put herself in these very like slapstick situations. I would highly recommend, if you have some free time, just throwing on like a best of Minks, Name Your Price compilation or whatever. Out of everything I've seen by Minks over the past few days, this is honestly like my favorite stuff she's ever done for sure. Minks would branch out into the creator boxing scene as well, and on May 14th, 2022, would take part in the first creator clash, defeating Yodeling Hazley in the fourth via TKO. Though Minks would greatly benefit from the unpredictable energy she brought to the streams, she would not be immune to its pitfalls. She would be banned a couple of times. The first ban would come on December the 23rd, 2020. She would be banned for 7 days for using, quote, hateful slurs or symbols, with Minks later clarifying it was for saying virgin, simp, and incel.
I'll do better. You know, they've never banned the word whore. They've never banned the word slut. Incel, simp, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Words that have all been banned from Twitch, which, side note, is mad acoustic. Like, first of all, banning words is gay, you know, because it implies that words inherently have meaning and you don't have to have any intent attached to them, which is a whole other conversation. That could be a whole video unto itself. I feel very strongly about that. But banning virgin, simp, incel is a very virgin, simp, incel move. Like, nothing screams I'm a virgin, simp, incel more than the people that work at a streaming platform like Twitch getting together and saying, okay, we need to ban these 3 words because they're mean to us. I mean, people, other people definitely are our fans. Her second ban would come less than a year later on July 2nd, 2022, when Minks would say the word cracker.
What about a cracker? I actually didn't realize that was like, I meant to say the start of the word. Wait, hold on.
This one I agree with. Good job, Twitch, for obvious reasons. Listen, all I'm saying is my white brothers, they don't deserve to be torn down and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I mean, simply for things they cannot control, like the color of their skins, their melanin, or lack thereof. As Minks would continue to grow in her popularity, so would her mania and thirst for the liquor drinks.
Julian!
Minks would be pretty open about her life and all her drunk adventures, but at this time it still didn't yet appear to bleed into her personal and professional life, or at least not publicly. But as time would go on, Minks would continue to drink more heavily, and these offline moments would find their way to the internet. Minks would move from Ireland to Los Angeles in around 2021, 2022-ish, and on the 16th of June 2022, Minks would tweet out a picture of her bloody legs. After a boxing session, some of her sparring partners came came over. They did some midnight swimming with a little drinking. Minks, wanting to ramp things up from the chill night they were having, convinced everyone to take a hike up a nearby mountain.
I get everyone to take a shot with me, and then I'm like, let's go hiking.
Minks would end up falling into a cactus.
I am in so much pain! It's worse at the back. Everything hurts! Everything hurts!
But they'd continue up the hill regardless, making it to the peak. And on their way down, a wild animal would appear.
And I don't need pity here. It wasn't a bear. I don't even think it was a mountain lion. I think it was like probably some smaller. But we were drunk. But anyway, there was some animal in the bush. Here's where the story isn't cool. I charge at it. I missed the animal. I only got one injury by the animal, and it's the one, there's like one certain bite that you can see. And I fall down the hill. Yes, we got attacked by an animal, but the story isn't as cool as I was attacked and fought it off.
In August of 2022, Cutie Cinderella would organize a girls' trip live stream with different activities and theme nights planned. One of those theme nights was Frat Night, where an overly intoxicated Minx would do a top rope frog splash through a table for seemingly no apparent reason. You can hear people's genuine concern as the cameraman / girl was promptly signaled to film elsewhere.
Now what are you gonna do? Are you okay, bro? Lauren.
Oh my god, is she okay?
Minx would be told to leave the party shortly after. In September of 2022, Minx would find herself in hot water once again when Twitch streamer Adriana Lee would call out Crazy Slick for an essay allegation. Minx, who was also streaming at the time, started doing commentary on Adriana, mostly defending her friend Slick.
Sucks that I'm this hush-hush word, this hush-hush situation. Nobody can be my friend or be around me without Slick having something to say about it. And a lot of people who are saying Adriana Lee, drama whore, whatever, take us.
But you
take a
wanted
break,
to hang out
take a
with them
breather,
again.
and go read
Like,
the tweet.
hold on now.
Because nobody read it.
Say
apparently.
names.
But what people really took an issue with was her laughing at Adriana's story, calling it fake news.
Or like something horny. I just remember something to do with jacking off. And she did not reply. She doesn't have screenshots.
No, he did not, did he?
Minx would go dark mode after this and delete the VOD with the swiftness. A few days later, an anonymous third party would make a post to her Twitter account, who, if I'm not mistaken, would later be revealed to have been Cutie Cinderella.
The tweet that was on my Twitter account was written by Cutie and Danny.
The post essentially detailed how Minx had been in the throes of a manic episode and was taking some time away from the internet entirely. A week after the Adriana incident, she would go live but would delete the stream toot sweet.
I shouldn't be live right now, so in advance I do want to apologize because there is an apology fucking owed.
On that stream, she would reveal that she had spent the last week in a mental health facility.
I just got out of the psych ward today. Still pretend that I was in the ward for another week so I could take time off and not look at my phone because they took my phone away.
And gave a seemingly genuine apology.
I'm not using my mental illness as an excuse because any mental illness comes with something deep within you. So anything I said was me. And I actually watched and listened to what Adriana said instead of manically watching it live on stream. And I'm personally disgusted at myself.
Even though it was against the wishes of her org.
I have been advised to do a YouTube apology video talking about it or writing a script, which I probably should have done because knowing me, I will up something here.
But during that same week Minx was MIA, another Twitch streamer would come out against her publicly. Toxic Support would make a twit longer about an experience she had with Minx back in 2018 at a TwitchCon after party that Minx was hosting. Minx and Toxic had been friends at the time, and Toxic had pulled up to the party with another friend. By this point, it was a total sausage fest. The party was almost over. They started playing a drinking game where it was basically drink or take off a piece of clothing. The guy suggested they move to Truth and Dare, with Toxic and her friend getting peer pressured into getting naked in front of 13 guys. The two girls ended up leaving the party, and the next day in private, Minks would initially be supportive of how Toxic felt about the situation, but then pulled a complete 180 and threatened her with blackmail if she came out publicly. After some much needed time off, Minks would finally get back into the swing of things, but people seemed to notice that she was streaming from a new locale. After the Adriana Lee situation, she had been asked to leave the streamer house she was living in at the time. Since then, Minks had been bouncing around from Airbnb to Airbnb, and on November the 3rd, 2022, Minks had gone live to inform her fans that the house she had been living in had been broken into.
And I just see the window smashed, but I'm like, where the are my cats? Was running around looking for them, and they were like nowhere to be found, because my first thought was that it was the stalker and he had broken in and taken my cats. But they guaranteed me no one came in, and you can see the man literally putting the bag down and crawling in to my so I'm like, why would you lie and say no one came in?
They had stolen her laptop and her mic, and both of her cats had gone missing. After calling the cops, Minks had discovered that there was a crawl space under the house filled with sleeping bags, drugs, and empty alcohol bottles. Honestly, her explanation of this whole situation seemed very manic. Like, it was very difficult for me to like try and piece. I watched the whole stream of her explaining this. It was very difficult for me to like piece together what actually happened, because some of it just seemed like her being paranoid about certain things. Other things seemed pretty odd, and I could see why she would be concerned. So I'm just gonna try and break it down for you as best I can here. She managed to find one of her cats. The other one was still missing. The guy in the video that broke into her house with the blue gloves returned and lurked outside of her house. Then there's a bunch of other people that seem to make their way into the storyline, like Russians and mysterious cars that park outside her house and then leave for no reason. Basically, she wants to stay at the house until she finds her other cat. A bookstore a few houses down burnt down, and a reporter comes to her door asking questions because apparently at the scene of the crime there were flyers that had her address on it, and these flyers looked very similar to flyers that she had found in the crawl space with all the other stuff from the people living there. So it seemed like the people that burnt down the bookstore a few doors down were also the ones living under her house. Now she's scared that they're gonna come back and light the house on fire with her in it. She's also seems to be blaming the Russians who own the Airbnb. Anyways, the Russian owners pull up to the house eventually, and Mink threatens to burn herself alive if the cats aren't returned, which is a wild threat to make against someone. I am going to kill myself in your house if you don't find my cat. Okay, I mean, all jokes aside, on paper that sounds wild. The context behind this is basically she's scared that the arsonist will come back and burn down the house, but she is not going to leave until she finds her cat, whether that means she has to die in that house or not. Anyways, allegedly 3 minutes after that conversation ended, the Russians would return, giving the cat back, saying they found it across the street randomly. She would argue with Airbnb to get a refund, but she was denied and was banned from using Airbnb in that area completely. I would assume probably because even if there was like, there was probably some legitimate weirdness going on there. I don't really know what happened to this day. But she was probably just very manic about it and wasn't handling the situation the best. In March of 2023, Minks would be hit with her third ban on Twitch for being too drunk on stream.
You okay?
Yes, I'm okay. The whiskey. Another one.
Now, out of context, the clip does look wild, I will admit that, but I pretty much watched the majority of that entire stream, or at least like I skimmed through it, watched it in 2x speed, etc. And I think she may have been playing it up for the camera here. Listen, from where that moment gets clipped out, like 10-15 minutes before that, she had a pretty lengthy stream with Kai Cenat where she was like being flirtatious with him, whatever. Like she was, yes, she was probably drunk, but she was completely coherent and like not like she was in that clip at all.
I said I'm gonna
get your name tatted. I'm gonna get your name tatted here.
Would you?
Yes.
Oh, stop. Are you flirting with me?
Chill
Come
out,
over.
man.
Come over.
Chill out, man. Chill out,
Come
man.
over.
And then within like a 10 to 15 minute span, she is like falling over, blackout drunk. She was playing it up for the camera. It's pretty obvious to me.
Whiskey. Another one.
Classic streamer over exaggeration. And maybe I should mention this too. My initial thesis for this video before it just became like a general Minks deep dive was I was gonna do a video on how I think Minks is a fake drunk. Yes, it was supposed to be inflammatory on some level, but because I saw enough clips of her like those clips of her drinking on stream where she's like blacking out and being a complete mess. A lot of those seem kind of foo-foo to me. There were other ones, but when I started doing my research and started seeing all the things that were kind of happening, that were happening in private, that kind of were bleeding onto the internet, and some of her stuff that was happening publicly, I started to realize, oh, she actually does have like a drinking problem. So I stayed away from that side of the video. But there are definitely a ton of other famous clips of her super drunk on stream where it's so clear that she's faking it. Like this clip here, super fake. People use it as a, hey, look, Minks is blackout, passing out on stream. But I mean, like, have you ever seen someone pass out before? That's not how that happens. Like, it's just so cartoonish and over the top. You don't go from like 0 to like that's not how people pass out. Like, it would have been like a gradual thing. She would have got sleepy and whatever. Like, that's clearly for an underage audience that hasn't been to parties yet. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure at some point she even admitted that she was drinking iced tea that night. Like, there wasn't even alcohol in the bottle. There's this clip that people use of her not understanding XQC at a party. Who does? Let's be honest here.
How many problems are you having?
What?
How many problems are you having?
How many problems do you having?
Yeah.
How many? What?
Again, she was probably drunk here, but was hamming it up for the camera. People also use this clip of her falling in the background as evidence, but I mean, like, that's not evidence of anything. She falls all the time.
The gremlin? Say that to me to my face, Riker. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, shit.
There's this clip here of her crying and spilling her vodka, which it's just cartoonish.
I'm not that drunk. Like, I can literally prove I'm not that drunk. Mr. Crab.
Listen, Minks clearly does abuse alcohol, but she also knows how to be entertaining, let's be honest here. At this point, QT and Minks had been on the outs. Behind the scenes, Minks's drunken escapades had put a strain on their friendship. It's clear that Minks had a problem that she wasn't ready to work on. QT, if you don't know, runs the Streamer Awards, which is insane to me. The idea of award shows in general is like really dumb to me. Like, oh, let's take celebrities, like the most celebrated people on the entire planet, and then give them a special day to make them feel extra special. And I think that's especially true of streamers. I mean, the whole thing of being a streamer is like, okay, let me spend time with these people who have this parasocial relationship with me, that see me as like this god, that like put me up on this pedestal. Like, your whole existence in the world is, aren't I cool and interesting? And then it's like, oh, we need an extra day just to make sure everyone knows how cool and how interesting you really are. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. Anyways, Minks really wanted to go to the awards and reached out to QT for permission. QT said yes, but on one condition, that she would have to remain sober. Minks would admittedly meet a cute guy at the show and immediately start drinking. During the after party, Minks would be forcibly removed by security for not only trying to throw Saikuno into a pool, but also a propane heater.
She's wasted. She is getting escorted out by security because she's trying to throw heaters into the pool.
Heaters?
The big propane.
The big gas heaters, like the ones that are like 7 feet, 8 feet
She's
tall.
trying to put those in the pool. I heard she was trying to throw Saikuno in the pool.
Yeah, and people she was trying to run in the pool.
is a bad thing.
Also bad.
Minx's body would go completely limp during her ejection from the party, which was seen as a drunken act of defiance by onlookers, but Minx would later claim she had another seizure, posting pics from the hospital. This would inevitably shut down the after party and lose QT Cinderella tens of thousands of dollars. This marked a true low for Minx. Boozing heavily and constantly in a state of manic episodes, Minx would decide to take some time away from the LA content creator scene and move back to Ireland to live with her family. This was supposed to be a safe place for her, but literally on her first stream back, Minx would get into a verbal altercation with her younger sister, who would claim that Minx was in a relationship with a minor.
You and Mom are enabling her in the chat.
Enabling her? You're coming into my room after line drop. Because you have a problem. Yeah, I have a problem. You have a problem.
I want to get cancelled. Will you stop being a fool? Fool, an aggressive fool.
We were having a great one night.
Oh, no.
Why are you lying?
This all happened.
Why do you go to viewers? Because your boyfriend is underaged.
What?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Oh no.
That's not true.
Oh no.
That's not true.
You like little men. You don't like that? You don't like when I talk the truth?
That's not
You like little men.
That's not
But
true.
my she little men.
You insane.
You had to get
Our cousin
You insane.
is the same
You
age.
insane.
You had to drink.
You insane.
Oh, you're waking up drink? Why are you a pedophile? What?
Shut up, you stammer. Get out.
Go on, Luigi.
Get out.
Go on, talk to your mom. Talk to your phone. You come at me. You come at fucking me.
Stop.
Get in there.
A lot of people would notice this argument, prompting some questions to crop up in their minds. Or at least that was the narrative that was going around at the time. And strangely, it seems like that's the narrative that went down in history. But pretty clearly, Drama Alert put out a tweet saying like, no, it was actually the opposite. It was Minx saying that to her younger sister, that her younger sister was dating an underage person. And when you go back and like just listen to the stream, like it's clear which voice is which in the thing. The VOD would be privated and Minx would reply to Drama Alert's tweet saying, Americans are so soft. Honestly, to me, this seems like Minx once again going into psycho mode and just saying a bunch of wild that she doesn't really mean. Definitely the funniest part of this whole thing though was at the very end, her mom grabbing the camera and trying to figure out how to turn the stream off. It was just such a funny boomer moment.
Oh my god. I need to stop the stream. I don't know how. And it says end. Sorry about this, guys.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, the rest of her 2023 seemed fairly quiet. She seemed to have calmed down, or at least she's not making as many of those wild headlines as she used to. The only one that really seemed to crop up this year since then was she posted a picture, I think it was on Instagram initially, of her face. She had like 2 black eyes and a broken nose. So everyone just assumed that she was wasted and fell down somewhere and like messed her face up. But she would stream later the next day, I think, and it would be revealed that it was actually from boxing training. I mean, if you know anything about breaking your nose, that'll blacken both your eyes for sure. It did look wild though. Listen, I think she is genuinely very entertaining and funny, especially for a woman. Very funny. I actually do find her pretty funny. I don't know exactly what her situation is currently, but I really do hope she continues down the path of staying out of LA. That's probably a good start, but just staying away from alcohol. It doesn't seem like it mixes with her system. It's just not good for her. She's just too wild, and putting alcohol on top of that is too much for anyone. With the exception of season 2 of Fishtank, of course. If she makes it on there, please drink excessively. I need that's the one time you're supposed to go completely wild.